Hello and welcome to our first episode of the Dork List. My name is Jordan Fay.
My name is Darian Christian.
And this is our podcast that's pretty self-explanatory.
It's full of nerdy, geeky,
and dork-related material.
Or otaku, whichever type of fandom you're a part of. We're not choosy.
More or less. Basically, every episode, we're just going to talk about our different interests, covering anything in like nerd pop culture. We'll have like a theme for stuff, but like this is our mostly introductory episode.
Also, just to test it out,
yep.
See if we can get a little buzz. We're kind of awesome if you haven't noticed already.
Just a little bit. Me more than him. But anyway, we're gonna kick things off with some introductions of ourselves. So starting with Darian.
All right. First off, I am Darian Christian. I am a nerd of all types and sorts. I read book nerddoms. I'm a wrestling fan, as Jordan can see, considering since I'm watching on the television right now while I'm talking to you.
Yeah, we've got WWE muted right now.
Yeah, because, of course, I kind of have it during it. Hey, kudos to Paige winning the Battle Royale. Give Divas a chance, dude. I'm also massively into anime, comic books, and video games. Of many, many sorts. And how long have we been talking so far?
You've been talking for like a minute.
Okay, I've only been talking for like a minute. Well, for anime-wise, my favorite anime is Digimon. For people who don't know, which is pretty much all of you since this is the first time you've ever heard me.
He talks about it excessively. Not even kidding.
I think I've alienated my.
You will find out very, very soon enough just how much Darian loves Digimon. We'll be touching on it a little later.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you will know the full extent.
Also into Harry Potter a lot. If my only cosplay I've ever done actually is Harry Potter. Besides, I've also done Punisher, but I don't really count it.
Why don't we count that one?
We don't count that one because it's not good.
Oh, sad panda, sad panda.
But also Harry Potter, Percy Jackson. I'm gonna hit all the fangirls in the fields right now. Chronicles of Nick, that kind of stuff. Video games, Legend of Zelda, Pokemon. Lots of the JRPGs because that's how I roll. And let's see. But yeah, that's me. Also, an introduction to I can't words. Oh my goodness! Plot twist.
WWE stuff is going on in the background.
I got distracted.
You got distracted. It's all good. So I'm okay. So while Darian is watching some WWE, I'm gonna go along with my introduction.
I apologize. That doesn't usually happen.
No, it's all good. If he randomly blurts out something interesting happened, he'll probably mention at the end of my introduction.
This is probably a bad idea for this. It's on a Monday.
It's all good. It's all good. We're going with it anyway. This is live. Let's keep it real. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. No script.
Let's kick it over to Jordan.
Okay. So, as I said earlier, my name is Jordan Fay. For those that know me, I also go by the name Axel Blaze. It's basically like who I am. It's the name I use for cosplay and voice acting. I mean, this is going up on my voice acting page and stuff, so...
I'll be sharing it relentlessly.
Yes, you guys will know, but like I said, I'm a big-time cosplayer and voice actor. I'm trying to get into the voice-over/voice actor industry. Big dream of mine. It's why I went to college with a broadcast major. Got a lot of interests. It's not even funny how many interests I am. Because it covers a full spectrum of different things. I'm a huge movie buff, loving like action, comedy, animated stuff. I mean that kind of goes hand in hand with my love of wanting to be a voice actor. Love a ton of anime and books, way too many to count. I can say though that my favorite anime/manga series of all time is One Piece. My favorite manga currently is Boku no Hero Academia, not Boku no Pico, for those of you that heard the first 2 words and thought, oh no, he's that kind of guy. No. I haven't even watched Boku no Pico, and it's going to stay that way.
First off, people, don't worry. He's not into watching... I know. It's already got,
I don't even like yaoi. I don't even like yaoi.
It's already a bad name because it's got Boku no. Whenever you hear an anime or manga that has the words Boku no in it, it immediately sounds bad because of that.
You probably just blew out like half of the listeners' ears just now. I'm looking at the computer as we're recording this, and just like, blah, sound waves.
I'm sorry, people. I probably blew out your ears.
We're doing it live. We're doing it live.
I'm boisterous. You'll get to learn this.
It's all good. But yeah, I've got a variety of interests that you guys will learn about in subsequent episodes. Like I said, we're planning on doing it bi-monthly, but depending on the response, maybe we'll do it more. It all depends on our schedule, what happens, whatnot. But
we're doing this for you.
We're doing this for you. This is a public service.
What we're doing is vital.
This is vital to your existence and everything.
We're here to jog your memory. It's a podcast for the soul. It's a podcast for the brain. It's going to make you think. It's going to make you...
It's just going to make your inner fangirl just scream out in joy.
Okay, okay, first off, I'm going to start saying it's fan-human. We're not going to be gender, poignant in this.
Fair enough. Fair deuce. Okay. So, I guess that's enough for introduction on my end. We're going to jump into one of our discussions right away. We've got a few major discussions for today. We're going to be talking about movies, we're going to be talking about anime, we're going to be talking about video games. So we're going to kick things off with our discussion on summer movies.
Okay, we're going to start with Age of Ultron. The countdown is real. I know you are listening. I know that because you are a fanboy or fangirl, fan-human, we're going to go with that. You're pretty hyped for this. It's one of the most hyped for movies. In fact, for me, I've been pretty much on the Marvel fanboy since seeing Iron Man 1 back in 2008. And a lot of people have. I mean, look at Tumblr. Look what they did. They created their own sub-fandom because of what they did.
More or less. Well, Tumblr creates a lot of sub-fandoms. That's, Tumblr probably is a discussion in and of itself.
Oh, God.
But that is not for today.
That is not for today.
I agree. Avengers Age of Ultron it's one of those movies that's been a long time in the making. And, Avengers in and of itself was a big thing. It's one of the top 3 grossing movies of all time. But even that is just like a stepping stone next to Age of Ultron, which just takes everything that you love about Avengers, and it's probably going to make you cry because of, multiple things. They made a song from Pinocchio scary.
For the love of God, people, that James Spader has made Ultron scary again. Because for the longest time, he's been for people who read comic books, he's been in and out. He's been doing major take over the world things, but he hasn't really been relevant in a number of the last 10 years. You had the Age of Ultron comic book series, which this movie is not based off of, but you didn't really have him relevant. But now he is scary. They talk about Ultron often in the comic books about him being a menace, probably the Avengers' greatest foe.
Definitely one of his greatest foes. Hands down, for those of you that know the comics or even watched some of the movies or animated series.
Avengers. Avengers. There we are. Next Avengers, that animated movie that you should all see because it's that awesome.
Pretty much. But
yeah, Age of Ultron. We're getting Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Which I still want to point out that I find it hilarious that for those of you that have ever watched Kick-Ass, 2 of the guys that were in Kick-Ass, 2 of the stars, the guy that was Kick-Ass himself and one of his best friends, it's funny how they are now both Quicksilver. You've got Kick-Ass, who is the Quicksilver for Age of Ultron, and you've got the other guy for Quicksilver in the X-Men movies. I still find it hilarious.
Well, think about it. I hope this guy, I think it's not Aaron Taylor Johnson, is it?
I am terrible with names.
We're terrible with actors' names unless it's super fanboyish. I used to be massively into Ellen Page until she came out. Not that I'm against it, but I shed tears that day because I realized what period we're missing out over on the men's side. We're missing out. You girls are what?
Okay. But yeah, I think our sheer excitement speaks for itself on Age of Ultron. Definitely recommend seeing this at the start of May, hands down. Next up, we should talk about Terminator Genisys. This is a movie.
Oh my goodness!
For those of you that have not seen the latest trailer,
let's talk about Terminator.
Go look at the latest trailer. But let's talk about Terminator in general. Yeah.
Terminator in general, I mean, for most people who grew up in the 90s or the early 80s, Terminator was that high-octane action flick. And it is like for it's a nerdy story. I mean, you have robots coming back through time to kill the leader of the the mother of the resistance.
The mother of the child.
The mother of the child. The mother of the child. It's complicated. It's time travel. As quote to Avengers from the comic books, it's time travel stuff. It's not something we like to mess with.
Pretty much. But the thing is, with Terminator, there's already been an established timeline in that there was 4 movies for Terminator that were already created that had this consistent timeline. Genisys takes everything that you know about the original 4 Terminator movies and throws it
out the window. It's gone. It's never coming back.
It takes elements from the original series, but decides to say, hey, guess what? We're changing everything.
We're changing everything because we can. We got Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones, Diana Terrace, who doesn't seem like that massively... She's not that tortured soul from Game of Thrones in the beginning anymore. She's bringing her badassery, if I can even say that, all the way over to Terminator Genisys.
I mean, we've already said kick-ass. We can say badassery. I mean,
but that's a movie title. We have to say kick-ass.
Point anyway, whatever.
Terminator Genisys. Matt Smith is in this movie. We still don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I still didn't even see him in the latest trailer.
We haven't even seen him in the trailer. I mean, ex-Doctor Who is in this movie. We have no clue what he's even doing. But it's turning this entire movie on its head. We don't even know if John's still going to be born after this.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil anything for you guys. I mean, the trailer in a way almost kind of spoils the biggest plot twist in the movie right away. But I still think it's a very important thing to go and watch the trailer because, I mean, like we said, it flips everything on its head, throws everything out the window.
Especially with Kyle Reese. I mean, just seeing this trailer months ago, Kyle Reese dies in the first Terminator movie. I'm sorry, spoiler alert. But he dies in that first Terminator movie.
It's not really a spoiler alert. I mean, if this came out in, the late 80s?
Yeah.
It's really not a spoiler at this point.
It's a spoiler to people new to it.
I guess, but I mean, you've had 30-plus years now, people.
Yeah.
You've had 30 years.
You're pooching it, as my friend Steven Schrader would say. You're pooching
it.
Yeah. But Terminator Genisys, it's one of our top picks for this summer.
Yeah.
All right. Our next on our list is Pixels, in which it's an Adam Sandler movie. Please do not turn off the podcast.
Yeah. The thing is, this isn't your, I should say, typical Adam Sandler movie because I don't think it's Happy Madison Productions per se. I don't know off the top of my head. Darian's looking it up as we speak, but
because interwebs,
right? But the thing about Pixels is it takes everything that you love about, like 8-bit video games, like arcade games, everything, and it makes it really relevant.
For the love of God, Pac-Man's eating San Francisco. Pac-Man is eating San Francisco. I'm looking at the picture and it terrifies me.
Yeah.
And he's got the smile on his face that we're all used to seeing.
It's literally about these aliens who, decades ago, when, like, the U.S. sent this, like, time capsule or something into space, like, Ronald Reagan sent it off, and they discovered it, and it had, like, videos and stuff of classic video games. And the aliens are now using these classic video games to destroy mankind.
Apparently, our, like, and it's actually something really to think about. All these things we send about the Earth into space because we hope that somebody will see them out there. They took it as a declaration of war.
More or less, or the point is these are like evil aliens, and they're using our beloved video games to hurt us. And it stars a lot of, like, you know, the Adam Sandler...
Kevin James.
Adam Sandler,
he's the president.
Kevin James. Kevin James is the president?
He's the freaking president.
Okay.
Peter Dinklage.
It's got Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage is in this movie.
Go see it because of that!
Like, he has, like, this mullet, and he's, like, this badass character. And then you have Josh Gad, who is the voice of Olaf in Frozen. I mean, this is one of those weird cast mashups where you just want to, like, sit down, watch it, and think, like, is this going to be good?
Yeah.
And
they have this guy named Dennis Akiyama. I have no clue who he is, so I apologize, Dan.
The guy who's the creator of Pac-Man.
Yeah, he's not actually in this, but
right.
he's posing as the creator of Pac-Man. He has to say, which, if you've seen the trailer for this movie, it's funny in and of itself.
Yeah.
But, long story short, don't write it off because of it's an Adam Sandler movie. I know a lot of people do it. Chris Columbus is directing this. That's a good thing. He did that Harry Potter movie that you all loved.
Which one?
The first two.
Okay. Because I love most of the Harry Potter movies.
I love the whole franchise, too.
I'm just saying. But, yeah. Moving along, then. Jurassic World. Jurassic Park comes back with a vengeance.
Star-Lord comes back with a vengeance.
Yes. Chris Pratt, who is now, like, the poster boy for movies that are awesome everywhere. Like, literally, Guardians of the Galaxy just made Chris Pratt's career explode.
It exploded it. I mean, yeah, you had Bradley Cooper. Yeah, you had...
Vin Diesel as Groot.
Yeah, Vin Diesel as Groot. Which nobody noticed.
Which I'm still very disappointed that at no point in Furious 7 did Vin Diesel say, "I am Groot." Like, I would have, like,
way to spoil the movie for me, Ben. That's why I was
He's not going to say, "I am Groot" in the
You don't know
Furious
him.
movie.
You don't know where he's been.
Fair enough. But
yeah, Jurassic World... For any fan of the original Jurassic Park movies, it's pretty much just a reboot from what we've seen so far. And if anything, for the first time, we may have some, like, control over some dinosaurs.
Yes, because Chris Pratt in the movie has his own Velociraptor, like, hunting party. Like, these are, like, Velociraptors that imprinted themselves on Chris Pratt.
If anything, I would say it's like he's using they're, like, going with symbiosis type thing. Like, they use him, he uses them.
Well, I'd say it's like a mother-children type relationship.
Reminiscent of Godzilla, this animated series, which we will not talk about because it was that bad.
But the thing is, like, I'm excited for this because it's a throwback to where Jurassic Park and that started.
The idea of playing God.
Yeah, like, they create their own dinosaur. In what world is that a good idea to create your own dinosaur? None.
And let it loose on an island!
Pretty much. Well, they didn't let it loose. Like, it just was really smart and started hunting for its own gain. But
I know there's this whole big controversy over the clip that was released about how this is a sexist movie. I'm not gonna, like, make any conclusions, and I'm not trying to start rants or anything. We're not, like, super experts. We're just nerds making a comment. Yeah. If anything, let's judge it after we've seen the movie. I mean... Look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've heard good things about that movie, and people wrote it off before it even came out. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things. I personally haven't sat down and watched it myself. Rest in peace, Donatello.
Yeah, I think that covers our excitement even for that, too. Like, need to kind of keep moving along. Just kind of, briefly mention, like, the last two, like, quick synopsises.
Yeah.
Synopses.
The last two are, like, really, really quick.
So Inside Out.
It's a Disney movie. That's why you should go see it.
It's one of Disney's Pixar. It's Pixar. Like, that speaks for itself. It's a new Pixar movie.
Their track record is already great.
Yeah. It's literally about human emotions in different people. So that's kind of cool. Like, if you've seen the trailer, like the first I think they released a new one.
There was the first trailer where it was like them operating,
yeah,
like her brain and everything.
And then like there was another trailer with like the mom and dad showing their emotions as well as the little daughters. It's cute.
Cute.
It's gonna be a good.
I'm already crying, and I haven't seen this movie.
Yeah. And then the other one that's like to briefly mention, Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four. The reboot that people were afraid of, that we still are very much unsure of.
We're very aware of this. We're very of this because Darian can't words right now. But Fantastic Four, what the original series, like, I will say this because I watched the Fantastic Four movies, the original ones with Jessica Alba and, you know, Chris Evans. Chris Evans when he was the Human Torch.
Before he was Captain America.
When he could be a jerk on television and nobody would care. But the Fantastic Four, this movie, just from the trailers itself, it just seems like it's gonna go to what the Fantastic Four really are. Explorers, not superheroes. The Fantastic Four, they're scientists. Well, not Ben Grimm, but still. They're scientists. They're explorers. They go search out new things. They're trying, from what it looks like, they're trying to capture that essence in this movie. In something the first series just didn't do. I mean, in the second movie, Rise of the Silver Surfer, you heard about them stopping a bank robbery, and I was just like, that's not the Fantastic Four. Do they do that occasionally? Yes, but not much. And I don't even read Fantastic Four, but that's not what they're about. But we're trying to get, what the franchise seems to be going is that the Fantastic Four are the explorers of the universe. They go discover, see new things, and no clue yet on what the villain is because they're saying it's Doctor Doom, they're saying it's the Mole Man, and I know it sounds bad, that sounds bad, but Mole Man is actually pretty destructive. I'm willing to give this movie a try. How about you?
I'm hesitant, but at the same time, I might give it a try. Like, I need to see another trailer. Plain and simple, I need a trailer to tell me what the storyline is, because it's kind of just been this very ambiguous storytelling with the trailers that we've gotten so far.
Marvel likes to do that to us. They like to...
Right, but I mean, it's not like... This isn't Marvel. This is 20th Century Fox Marvel. Completely different thing. But,
And here's just my prayer that this doesn't get... I love you, Marvel, but then again, you left me on a cliffhanger with Amazing Spider-Man 2. Please don't buy this franchise back until they know it's done. Please do that just for me. Do that for me. Because I can't... I'm already in deep feels from last year's Amazing Spider-Man 2. Don't buy it back until they're done with it.
I mean, I'm sorry to say, but it's not happening. Because there's literally been like a story lately that they say they want the next Spider-Man that they want to have is going to be like the 15, 16
Peter Parker.
Teenage Peter Parker, yeah.
And honestly, response to that, take this idea. I would prefer Spider-Man to not go into a major film franchise because they've already done that twice. To go to a Netflix streaming series where it's Peter Parker in high school, which we honestly don't get to see much of because whenever we put the franchise to the screen, they fast forward through high school. They do that. When there's a lot of stories for Peter Parker they can tell in high school. And for people who don't know, Peter Parker was one of the original teenage superheroes when Marvel kept teenage superheroes off their comic book list for years. It was so called the Bucky rule, that there will be no more teenage superheroes since Bucky. So we're trying to so I would honestly like to see an amazing out of this movie. I would like to see Spider-Man go to a TV series rather than go into a movie because they've done that twice. We shouldn't do that anymore. And anything with the success of Daredevil so far, street superheroism needs to be a more prominent thing because we see all these big world global changing events in the Avengers and even in their solo movies. We've seen those big threats. Now I want to keep it to the streets like the Defenders are doing for Netflix. Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Daredevil. I want to see more street heroism where they deal with... Yeah, Spider-Man has his superheroic, so like supervillains and everything, but street heroism, it's a problem. It needs to be solved.
Yep. All right. I'm going to cut you off there because we're already going over with our movie discussion.
I'm sorry, people.
But just these are just like some of the movies that we're looking forward to this summer. That's not saying that there aren't some other great movies coming out this summer. Well, these are the ones that we agreed that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Just another quick brief mention. Ant-Man latest trailer came out today. That's another great trailer to go see because Ant-Man is actually the final movie in Marvel Phase 2. Not Age of Ultron, Ant-Man is.
It's going on either before or a little bit after Age of Ultron.
Right. So it's very important to the plot. Paul Rudd's in it. It looks, I'm not gonna lie, it looks promising so far. Check out the trailer for yourself. Let us know what you think.
We're on the Facebook. We're on. Well, we'll make a Twitter.
We'll do something.
We'll do something.
We'll do it live.
We're gonna move on now.
We'll do it. So next thing we want to talk about though is winter and spring anime. At this point in time, the winter anime that like we had has ended. At least like the 12 episode stuff. Spring anime season is here, but we want to go over some of our favorites from winter. As well as talk about some of the ones in spring, and we're going to talk about Digimon at the end of it. So, do you want to go first, or should I?
Well, since you're watching more of the actual release simulcast stuff, why don't you start?
Okay. So, in terms of my favorite winter anime, the top two, I should say top three for me, were Death Parade, Yoru no Yatterman, and Gundam Build Fighters Try. Death Parade, hands down, is my favorite anime from the winter season. It was a psychological drama anime that was just really emotional, and what was hilarious about it is that it had an opening theme song that was completely contradicting the atmosphere of the anime itself. Like, it had this like pop 80s feel. It was kind of hilarious, not gonna lie. But Death Parade was so good, and I definitely support a second season if it came out with one. Death Parade itself was actually based on like this OVA that came out like last year, called Death Billiards, but it's really good stuff. Yoru no Yatterman was a kind of spin on the Yatterman series. For those that know what that is, it was an anniversary series that had absolutely fantastic music. It was one of my favorite anime openings of winter, hands down. Check it out for yourselves. And Gundam Build Fighters Try. Ooh! Gundam fandom rejoice, because that anime... The anime is fantastic.
Wow.
It caters to every fan of the Gundam series, because literally anything Gundam, more or less, was in it. And if you saw the last episode of Gundam Build Fighters Try, if you saw the...
No.
Okay, I'm not going to go into it. But, like, for those of you that love Gundam, for those of you that were raised in the 90s, you will absolutely love the last, 2 minutes of Gundam Build Fighters Try. Not going to spoil anything.
If anything, I would say it combines, modeling... And honestly, I kept getting this Beyblade vibe where it was not like it was a bit I don't know how I'm trying to say with this, but I was trying to say that it comes into place of tournament style for kids and stuff. So with that Beyblade,
right? And then the Gundam Build Fighters Try was a team based setting. The main character's Gundam is based off of G Gundam.
A forgotten Gundam series.
Which I don't understand how it's forgotten when most of us...
It was Dragon Ball Z and Gundams!
For those of us that were born in the 90s, if you watched Toonami, you watched G Gundam. You watched G Gundam.
It was the only one you watched. I mean...
we don't talk about the other Gundam... what was it? Gundam...
Okay, it went like this for Gundam. They released Gundam Wing first.
Right.
Then they went with Mobile Suit Gundam because people hadn't seen that. Then they went with G Gundam. Okay. Then after G Gundam, they went with SD Gundam. And then Toonami got taken off the air, making us all weep. Yep. And then we had Gundam Seed. Yes, I like Gundam Seed. I am not ashamed to say it.
Okay.
Just screw this.
Anyway. Those were some of my favorites from winter. In terms of my favorite continuing anime series, I have to go with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders, Part 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, and Assassination Classroom. All three are absolutely fantastic series. JoJo, for those of you that love over-the-top, flashy, fighting animes, like this is...
And the muscles.
And the muscles, and poses. Poses. That's JoJo for you. And I'm really hoping that at the end of Stardust Crusaders they have an announcement for the next JoJo series, which hopefully if they do, it comes out like at the end of 2015, because I really don't want to wait too long for it, but
well, that's how it is for any anime series. That's
that's what I hope for that. Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5.
Holy crap.
Wow, Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 is great. I am not even like exaggerating.
He's not joking. It's not a cheap pop. We're not being paid by Konami.
Like after Zale or Zexal, if you like the English dub, Zale was kind of the black sheep of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Arc 5 comes back and says, guess what? You want everything that's been in Yu-Gi-Oh! So far?
You're getting it.
Get it. Because they have every type of summoning method in it. And for those of you that are caught up with it right now, Darian's covering his ears again. There are past characters from different seasons that are going to be making an appearance.
Crow and Jack are coming back.
Crow and Jack from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, which is arguably one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Series.
It gets a lot of hate because of the cycles. But it doesn't deserve it.
You're right. When Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds honestly has one of the best stories out of the Yu-Gi-Oh! series.
Out of all the series that honestly I like, and people are going to give me crud for this, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Goes like this for me. It goes 5Ds, GX, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Zexal. Zexal is on the last on this list because I have not finished Zexal personally. I like Zexal for what I saw. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds for me is just like fun. It's dark, especially dark if you watch the subs. And then you have GX, which is Academy Yu-Gi-Oh!
Both 5Ds and GX, for those of you that have not watched like the Japanese
if you watch
subs,
the English dub,
there are... At the end of each series, there is a season that was not released in America because those end, like...
Long story short,
end parts are
4 kids darker. Screwed it up.
It's dark. Not even kidding.
4 kids screwed it up, and for people who watch GX all the way to the end in English, in the English dub, there's more.
Yeah.
They lied to you. There's more.
Yeah.
Go and watch the sub. It ends better than that. Jaden Yuki is not dead. He is alive and well. Go and watch the extra seasons along with 5Ds. Because for people who didn't know, on both occasions for 5Ds and GX, they lost the rights to license more. And that's just what happened. They just lost the rights to license more series. So go and watch those extra seasons. Give Zexal a try if you want to, but we suggest Arc 5.
Yeah.
Arc 5 is fun. It's got ritual summoning. It's got normal summoning, of course. It's got sync. Oh, let me say it in like the style that Yugi has said.
No, because this is my time and we're already going over time.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm cutting off Darian because like we got a schedule to keep going. Otherwise, it's gonna be longer than an hour. We need to keep it to like an hour.
Unless you guys want us to do more, but tell us that.
Yeah, okay. But anyway. Assassination Classroom 2, based off of the Jump series. Assassination Classroom is awesome. It's all about a classroom taught by this octopus guy who's going to destroy the world unless the kids can kill him. And it sounds weird, but it's a Jump series, so you really should not be confused about that. As for anime that are coming up, that are like starting right now, I am following Shokugeki no Soma, aka Foodgasm Anime. Which I've loved the manga. It's one of my favorite manga series. Go check it out if you don't want to wait for the anime episodes. But that's a really good one to watch. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Probably.
It's that title in itself. You should check it out because it's adorable. Not gonna lie. Like the main character is this white-haired, red-eyed boy who's adorable with his female god sidekick. Yeah, and then Diamond no Ace, it's back with like its season 2. Diamond No Ace, I'm excited for this because the manga has been out forever, but the translators for the manga have not been like keeping up to date with it enough, so I'm finally excited to see everything happen in the anime. That's it for me. I'm going to pass it over to Darian and see what he has to say.
For my anime, for people who do not know me, I am the dubbed guy of my friends group. I am the dub.
I'm the sub guy.
I am the English dub guy. You can feel free to spread all the hate I do. I'm trying to do better, which is why I have a winter and spring anime list. I'm trying to do better. One of my big ones for winter was Akame ga Kill. Akame ga Kill, wow. I mean, for people who haven't seen it, it's about this boy who's from this village out in the boonies, and who then goes out to the capital because he feels like he's going to be able to make money for his village that is starving. And and then not only does he get robbed within the first day by a rather busty-looking girl, people who've seen this know what I'm talking about, but he gets taken in by this big rich family, who turn out to be evil, destructive. This is an all-ages podcast, so I can't use my proper language that I would use. But, long story short, it gets messed up until... And he doesn't know about any of this until he's shown it. But his two best friends are turned out to be tortured by the family that took him in. By this rich family that took him in. And then that's when Night Raid shows up, which is this assassination unit that comes out of nowhere and pretty much just kills all the officials and all these big wigs in the capital.
Yeah, essentially, the whole plot of the story is that the main character in this group called Night Raid are the quote-unquote bad guys, when the bad guys are actually the good guys, and the capital are the bad guys. Plain and simple. I mean, it's just, there's death everywhere.
There is death everywhere. That is not even a joke. When you look at this anime, you expect half of the main cast to still be there at the end. You're out of luck. Look, people are going to die. A lot of people die. And honestly, when I started watching this, and I just finished it against my own will, I finished it, I cried. Because, literally, everybody I loved died.
And for the record, though, with Akame ga Kill, there is a manga.
Thank God for that manga.
And, the anime ends a little differently than the manga.
It ends a little differently, it ends way differently.
I haven't watched the anime myself, so...
The anime ends way differently.
It
has an ending. It has an ending.
It's very much like Full Metal Alchemist, Soul Eater, and all those other animes that ended shortly because they didn't have the manga content at the time to continue the story in a way that would finish.
I'm over here sniffling because of Negima. That was only 26 episodes, and then they made a completely different one. But I'm not going to get into that rant. Let's get into another one. All right. World Break, Aria of a Swordsman. Yes, people, I'm aware that it's a harem anime. Yes, I love harem animes. That's just who I am. But, long story short, this anime to me was just amazing. It's an academy-based anime, and it has swords, magic, spells, and boobs. What? You're kind of telling me, yeah, I have to, as a nerd, I have to watch this. But, if anything, if I had to give it a rating, I would give it 8.5. It's fun.
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
Okay.
It's fun. It's funny. It's hilarious. It's romantic. It's pretty awesome. Moving on, because I like promos for this. I'll Noah Zero. For people who also did not know me, I am a mecha fan, which means if it has a mecha in it, I will watch it. I am not the kind of mecha fan who will watch Gurren Lagann over and over and over and over and over again.
Blasphemy.
And I know Jordan just says blasphemy, but I'm gonna keep. But he's gonna cut out half this podcast because I'm gonna keep saying over and over and over again for the next 5 minutes.
I'm doing absolutely no editing with this. It's just like I said, we're doing it live.
We're doing
this
it
one.
live.
This is all.
But I'll Noah Zero. It's about pretty much. Long story short, it's got racism. It's got class diversifying traits in it. It's more than just a mecha. It's pretty much about this kid, like how every mecha starts nowadays. It's about a high school kid or like a young kid who finds a mecha, gets into it, and then gets involved in a war. And then it becomes about politics. But if I had to give it a rating for Al Noah Zero, for me, and I know I'm just saying that it's great, but that's only because I'm trying to move on and go quickly through this. I don't know, a 0. If I had to give it, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. It's that great of a series. And thank God, none of the people I wanted to die died at the end. So, okay. Yeah, I'm happy.
So, what are you looking forward to for the spring?
Seraph of the End or Seraph no Owari. My friend Stephanie mentioned this to me, and oh my gosh, that first episode and the trailer. It is amazing. It's about vampire. So far, from what I've seen, it's about vampires. It's about...
It's like the vampire almost version of Attack on Titan is what a lot of people...
Without gigantic vampires. Because that would be...
They're like...
ridiculous.
They're like monsters, though. Like
monster.
It's... I believe like the vampires aren't what you think they look like. It's not like humanized versions.
Yeah. It's not like humanized versions. It's, for the most part, from what we've seen, because we've only had 2 episodes to go off of.
Correct. Like most of the spring anime right now either has 1 to 3 episodes.
Yeah. But pretty much out of this, it's pretty much... It's interesting. It's got a great backstory from that first episode alone. If you haven't seen the trailer, go find the trailer. If I can find it, hopefully we can post it on the website so people can see it. So far, so good. So far. That's what we'll go with. And so far, I'm going to give it... So far, I want to say... I want to give it 9 out of 5. 9.5.
9 out of 5?
It's that good. It's 9
out of 5.
9 out of 5. It's that good.
We did out of 10 ratings so far, and now you're going off of 5. Okay.
No, I'm limiting it down to 5 and giving it a 9.5 because it goes over the rating system and destroys it.
Okay. Alright. Now we discussed Digimon?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Sheep mentioned High School DxD Born.
Yeah, he had... Yeah.
That was something I just found out about today. I have not seen any of it. But
I knew it before he did, and he's a bigger fan than I am.
Screw you. But, High School DxD so far, it's been following the manga so far. And honestly, I'm just hyped that we're getting another series. I'm shocked that we're getting another series. And
Are you really?
Yes, I am.
With all that quote-unquote plot?
Yes, with all that unquote-unquote plot. But for the most part, we look at other animes that have gotten seasons like afterwards, like Familiar of Zero. Familiar of Zero got 4 seasons. It got 4 seasons and only the first one got dubbed. The second season got dubbed, the first season got dubbed, and now we're getting a third. I am hyped for High School DxD because there is plot in this. There's a lot of plot in this. Is there more than plot? Yes. But I'm hyped to see this. This is one of my favorites. But now we're going to go on to the big one, Digimon.
Yep, Digimon Tri. For those of you who are fans of the original series...
We know nothing about what's coming.
Yes, we don't even have a release date.
We don't even have a release date. They just said 2015. I heard stuff that was...
No, they said April 2015.
April 2015, April 22nd.
Have you heard April 22nd?
I saw that somewhere, but then since I've been rewind. But long story short, we know nothing about this, and to be honest, it scares me. It scares me. They're not telling us a thing. We don't know if we're getting a rebooted series. We don't know if this is going off with the original timeline, or if they're just going to change everything. And the reason why we kind of wanted it to be more of a part of the discussion, because it's such a mystery. The only thing we know is that Key Visual isn't on this. We know that it's about high school. And to be honest, for the shocking part, I thought it was just going to be about Tai in high school from the way that they gave us a year ago.
The way that it originally, with the original teaser that we had, we thought it was just going to be Tai.
Tai and possibly Kari.
Right. And then we found out that it's the original cast.
The entire original team.
The entire original cast are grown up. Tai and the vast majority of them are in high school. TK and Kari, I believe, are in like their
just entered.
Are they just entering?
They're in high school because they had the high school uniforms that they were wearing in the original.
And then Joe is, we believe, in college.
He's in college
because he has
a
completely different outfit from everybody else.
But we know that Taichi, for people who watch the Japanese sub,
isn't it Taichi?
They say Taichi, Taichi. Taichi, Matt/Yamato, and then Sora. Thank God they didn't dub that name. But pretty much, we know nothing about this series, and it's such a shock. We don't know where they are going with this. It is a scary thought, and one of the big rumors that I've heard, is that this anime is going to be how what we saw at the end of Zero Two was an illusion created by Mallow Myotismon. It was an illusion given to them that they never got out of. And that would mean that this series just took the massive dark tone. They didn't get their happy ending. People might be dead. We don't.
I don't think people are gonna be dead.
We don't know.
Digimon hasn't gone that dark in a long time.
It hasn't gone that dark, but
in a way, I'm kind of excited that it's all a mystery, though, because if we knew everything, like, we would probably be more judgmental right away.
Yeah,
in a way.
Especially since they gave us an epilogue at the end of Zero Two.
Right.
Like,
so
one of the big things that is for me, because I do not ship TK and Kari, or Takeru and Hikari, I do not ship those two, and other people who watched this anime and loved it, like Tai and Sora. Something we all expected to happen, and it didn't happen. They could retcon that. If they retcon that, they're going to retcon everything else. They won't just hold it at one retcon, they'll change everything. And because why shouldn't they? Because apparently from the beginning, that was the ideal for Matt and Sora to be together. That was in the script from the beginning. That's what they released, that's what they said. Screw y'all, we had our own story. But pretty much, it's because it's such a mystery, it makes it intriguing. Will Tai be an ambassador? We don't know. Will Matt go to Mars? We don't know. We don't know a dang thing about this series because they're not saying a thing. A new egg has been released on the site where they've been releasing plots of information everywhere. A new egg was released. Go to that website. Click on the egg. Get that egg hatched so I know what's going on. But how are we doing on time?
we're over by a lot, but let's. Shall we just move into video games? Because
long story short, we're excited for Digimon Adventure Tri, and if you're a fan of Digimon, at least of the first two series, you're gonna love what's going on.
Hopefully, anyway.
Hopefully, we're hoping that this is great. But we're gonna move on because we've taken up too much time. Now, video games.
Yep.
You play them. We're gonna talk about them.
Yep. So, Jump All Stars. For those who know about Shonen Jump and that, for decades, Shonen Jump has been known to have these video game releases where they have a bunch of the most popular Shonen Jump characters duke it out in a fighting game. And we are getting an English release of this game, which I didn't even think was going to be possible.
I'm going to channel Drain Watch Jackson for this. Finally! Jump All Stars is coming to America!
I apologize to anyone who was wearing headphones in that one, because if you haven't lost your ears or hearing up until this point, I'm not doing my job right. You probably just did. But anyway.
Finally. No more speculation. No more, oh my gosh, this is going to be awesome. We're getting this. And if you have it's not just going to be for the PS4. It's coming on the PS3. It's coming on the PS4. I don't know about Xbox One and Xbox.
I don't know I don't think it was released on Xbox in Japan.
If in that case it's a Sony exclusive, people, it's going to be on the network. You can download it. I certainly am. However, when it comes to competitive gaming, competitive fighting games, it's probably going to have a lot of online content, but the character roster is supposedly huge. It's massive. I'm psyched for it. How about you?
Oh, I'm definitely excited, because, I mean, like I said, in the past there were Jump fighting games, and there was an attempted English release for one of them many, many years ago.
I think it was BON Coliseum or whatever.
It was like the DS one. The issue is that for a lot of the older Jump, or the reason why I didn't even think we were going to get it in the first place is because the rights to a lot of the Jump series are spread out in America to several different companies. Like a lot of them. And for that very reason, I thought that it wasn't going to happen. I thought that because of like merchandising stuff and copyright, that we weren't going to get an English release. Well, we're getting an English release.
We're happy about it.
And I'm definitely happy. Moving right along, we're excited to hear about, release information for a few games in particular. we're excited to find out, when we're going to get Kingdom Hearts 3. We're excited to hear about when we're going to get, what's going to happen with Final Fantasy 15. And frankly, we're also excited to hear when we'll get news about the latest Pokemon game. Yeah. Because at this point, everybody has had Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
We've had it for a while.
For 6 months-ish. So it's... In the next few months, I would not be surprised if we got news on third installments for Pokemon X and Y.
We don't know if we're getting that's another thing. We don't know if we're getting a third installment. We don't know if we're jumping to a new gen already.
No. I can tell you right away that we're not jumping to a new gen.
I mean, if you look at the XY anime, we're still in it's been going slow as all heck.
Well, and that's why I'm going to say that Pokemon X and Y is going to have... They're either going to have...
A sequel thing.
They're going to have X2 and Y2,
which I'm not.
Or they're going to have Z. But it's up in the air at this point because, I mean, a lot of people didn't expect there to be Black 2 and White 2. Most people expected that there was going to be Pokemon Gray or something along those lines.
Which I'm still upset about. But that's besides here or there.
But there's a lot of possibilities.
I'm hoping for a Pokemon Z game, but I hope it goes along the lines of what Black 2 and White 2 did. Because we get a Pokemon Z
with a story 2 years later. That kind of
honestly,
deal.
because of Zygarde. Because Zygarde is supposedly this nano machine Pokemon where it's capable of destroying land and everything, which is where honestly that's the type of thing that Team Flare would do. And honestly, I'd like a third version game. And more or less, I want to say this as a Pokemon fan, completely out of brutal honesty. We stopped caring about X and Y the second we heard about those remakes for Omega and Alpha Sapphire. That's what pretty much the reception has been.
The reason why people stopped caring necessarily about X and Y is because that there was not backwards compatibility with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
At the same point, when you look at the game as a whole, you didn't really need it because X and Y was catered to Gen 1 fans because when you look back at Gen 5, they had to. Gen 5, I liked Black and White. It's personally one of my favorite games. My favorite game in the franchise is, of course, as I've made it well known, Ruby and Sapphire. Black and White are my second favorites. When Black and White came out, they did a completely said, okay, you know all those Pokemon you're used to seeing in all of our regions? No, we're jumping away from all the other regions, and it's going to be a complete region dedicated to new Pokemon. You didn't have many old Pokemon in it. And Black 2 and White 2 refurbished that, or changed that idea, where they added a few of them. And X and Y, what they did, they gave you the 3 Gen 1 starters mid-game. You had no choice but to get one.
Well, and not to mention with X and Y, there were 70 to 80 or so new Pokemon actually.
There weren't as many.
It was the fewest newest Pokemon ever
since
released.
Gold and Silver.
But at the same time, with X and Y, it was the most Pokemon available to you, period.
Yeah.
Because you could catch up to 450 Pokemon in X and Y.
Yeah. In X and Y, it's its own story. As tones of Pokemon stories, I know people don't play Pokemon for the plot, but in tones of stories...
I play it for the plot.
I play it for the plot, but in tones of story, it wasn't the best story, but out of X and Y, I liked the story. I liked it. I hope we get a Z that is pretty much like Black 2 and White 2, where we get a jump in the future and it focuses on Zygarde. Or it can do what Platinum did and focus on all 3 legendary Pokemon in one game. All in all, I hope it's in the vein of Emerald, Platinum, and everything. Because a lot of the spotlight has been taken off X and Y, and we need to focus that back on. Because we are in Gen 6. We are not in Gen 1 anymore. Will we still have those Pokemon available? Yes. But the purpose of Pokemon is continuously moving forward.
Right. Moving on then, because we're running out of time. For those of you that are followers of Nintendo news, The Smash Brothers DLC poll is still going on strong.
Vote for Quote.
I don't know who that is.
He's from Cave Story. It's from that
And
popular
that's why I
indie
don't know.
Oh,
Okay, but anyway,
He's from Quotes from Cave Story. Go vote for him.
Don't go vote for Quote. Go vote for other stuff.
Go vote for Goku. I've seen votes for Goku.
Yes,
I've seen a petition to vote for Simon Belmont from Castlevania.
Yes.
I have seen. One of the campaigns I'm following is a campaign for Isaac from Golden Sun.
Yes.
Which people wanted in the first place when this game came out.
I think the most interesting thing about this, though, is that the vast amount of third-party developers that want their characters to be voted on. Like, they're taking this opportunity to get people like, hey, vote for our characters, vote for Shovel Knight, vote for Shantae, vote for Meat Boy.
Meat Boy, and I've never even played that franchise. But the guy who, why I mentioned Quote, is that the developer for Cave Story specifically made a post saying, vote for my character to get him in this game.
So did, Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie.
And the thing with that, though, is that Banjo-Kazooie is technically owned by, Xbox and that, so...
There's rumors of the spiritual successor that I know the name was released, I just don't know I don't remember the title name of it, but all in all, vote for whoever you'd like. The Smash polls are still up. Do it while you still have time.
Well, it's going until, fall.
Until, fall. Well... The thing is, we don't know how much longer we're gonna have. Well, we'll probably have DLC for a good while because they do a long period in between.
Well, there's a rumor that we're gonna have a wolf announcement at E3.
Oh, please, dear God.
Because that's what a lot of people have been saying. Because we're getting Mewtwo, we're getting Lucas, who I'm happy about that because Lucas was my main in Brawl.
Oh yeah, I just want to make a cheap pot. Hey, Nintendo, give us these Earthbound games. People want to play them. I know you put Earthbound on the Wii.
You realize, we have virtual console versions, right?
We have virtual console version of Earthbound. We do not have the Lucas game. Which is...
Are you sure?
Yeah, we don't have Mother 3. Okay. Mother 3 was not translated. Give us Mother 3. We want that on the virtual console. Do it. But moving on. We're getting a whole bunch of... The ideas are endless. I mean, honestly, I would like to see a lot of retro games come into place. We got Pac-Man, we got Sonic, we got Mario, we got Mega Man.
We got Duck Hunt Dog.
We got Duck Hunt Dog, people. Honestly, I would like to have Simon Belmont from Castlevania. I would love to have Quote from Cave Story. I would love to have Isaac. But at the most part, get your voice. Make yourself heard. They give us the power to this. Make sure your voice is known. If you don't have a computer... Go on your computer. Go to the library. Go somewhere. Vote for your character so you can get your character in game. Make a campaign. Get your friends on it. Do everything you can.
Yep. Yeah. Right. And you can vote as many times as you want too.
Yeah.
Because
I've already voted. I've voted once a day since this thing started. I've voted for Isaac and I vote for Quote once a day. I have voted each day since I started.
Yeah. And at the same time, it's not a guarantee that your character, even if it gets the most votes, there's technically no guarantee that it's going to get it.
Especially since there's rumors of Asushi Sakurai saying he doesn't want to make another Smash game after this.
Well, and the thing is, though, the point of this is the more, time and the more votes that pop up for some of these characters, it gives Nintendo the nod saying that we're interested in this. So, vote as much as you want. Get your voice heard. That's what's important. But with that, it's about time to wrap things up, though.
Yeah.
That was a lot of discussion.
It was a lot of discussion. Honestly, we're probably gonna have to talk about making this possibly longer or shorter.
Well, we did it live. We went over a lot with our movies and our anime stuff, but we're learning on this. This is our first time doing it. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about in the near future. We'll keep you guys posted on a lot of this stuff, but I can tell you right off the bat, we're going to talk about Digimon when that finally comes out. We're going to be talking about Tokusatsu with Kamen Rider Drive and Shuriken Sentai no Ninja. We're going to talk about we'll probably talk about anime conventions and stuff like that, which ones we're going to.
Yeah.
And a lot more.
You want to make a cheap mention of what we're going to do?
What?
You want to make a mention of what we're trying to try and go to, or no?
No, like we'll make it like another podcast in between.
Well,
if you're going to C2E2,
I'm gonna be there.
Darian's gonna be there. I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna be there on Saturday. If you can find me, come and find me. We're gonna have to make like a photo so you know what I look like.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna be at Anime Midwest in July.
I will be at Anime Central in May, and then from there.
We're both. Are you hoping for next year again this year?
Yeah, but that's a long way from now.
If anything, we'll probably be going together. So
we'll keep you guys updated. But for now, this has been a pretty good episode.
Welcome to the Dork List.
Welcome to the Dork List.
We're hoping you're still in the podcast after not alienated by us.
My name is Jordan Fay.
My name is Darian Christian.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
See you later.